All right, guys, I've been meaning to share this with you. We had a meeting yesterday with our financial planners, and it was Dan and Allison and myself, and I was listening, and I wrote down notes, and I recopied my notes here. So the goals that they described were, number one, to protect the goose that lays the golden egg. And you do that by practicing with diligence, of course. That's what we do all day. But also by having a life insurance buy-sell agreement so that if one partner dies, that doesn't jeopardize the law firm. And you have disability insurance just in case one partner becomes disabled, or at least consider disability insurance. The second thing is, after you protect the law firm, then you try to invest your money in a way that maximizes deductibility and deferring of taxes. Either defer the payment of taxes so that it can accrue, or deductibility, and that's the tax reduction. And then you optimize your growth, your tax deductibility, and your liquidity. So sometimes you have to sacrifice one in order to achieve others. Liquidity is important, particularly if you know in advance that you're going to need to pull money out, but you just don't know when. And so you want to remain agile and mobile, as it were, when it comes to things like emergencies or opportunities to buy something nice, or a kid gets married, goes on missions, things like that where you need money. Okay, so Packard Law Firm we expel capital from the firm in order to keep Packard Law Firm sufficiently capitalized, but not overcapitalized. We want to keep the fair market value of the actual firm relatively stable for three reasons. We don't want golden handcuffs, which is A. We don't want to, for example, misalign our incentives to build something that's long-term, but Dan, if he leaves in 5 to 10 years, would, for example, forfeit a lot of the wealth that was accumulated and kind of stuck in there. So it would force him to make decisions that he otherwise wouldn't want to be golden handcuffed to the firm. B is life insurance death benefit. Probably, if we're going to keep it around 1 to 2 million, then we should keep that roughly equivalent to the value of the firm, 1/5. So that'd give us a value of 5 to 10 million of the actual firm value. C is by far the most important. It matches our other priorities and goals and frees up time of the partners to effectuate those by accessing the power of passive income and pooling our smarts and lowering management and transaction costs by diversifying and enabling the deployment of our unified HC projects. So if we together put a whole lot of money into some kind of wealth creation engine and manage it at using the best tools that we have available, and then create passive income, then that passive income will enable us to fulfill a lot of our missions that are set forth in our Packard Law Firm mission statement. So ironically, expelling the money out of the firm enables us to create the passive income to achieve the rest of our goals to our stakeholders. So I've got this decision of once we make the decision to expel the income, simultaneous with that decision on how much, we also need to decide where to put it. And the top is quasi-business, the bottom is pure passive. So the left is individual and the right is together in some kind of shared, everybody has a shared interest, maybe equal share, maybe not equal share. Maybe just the 5 of us, maybe we could invite other siblings or other people. But if you leave the firm, you still get to participate in this, the right half, and for sure in anything over here. Okay, so what is the quasi-business? Well, that's real estate, most likely. Okay, and if it's individual real estate, we strongly discourage it. If it's together real estate, we can, but only if we have a huge, largely passive income opportunity. The more active this becomes, the more we really ought to be practicing law. The more passive it becomes, the more interesting this is, but you wonder how great it is. If it truly is passive, how is it such a good opportunity? Do we have inside information? But it could be. All right, so in the idea with these two law firms is keep the partner's wealth that's not necessarily for PLF optimal growth. So again, expel, but you keep the wealth here. Now, the red circle is what it's all about. So this is a life insurance cash value, and the engine is basically the stock market. But the shell is an administrative strategy. It's very particularized based on the laws that allow us to have an account. And you can do this individually or you can do it as a company. And we put it, your account can be a money market account, a mutual fund account, but it has to be qualified as a cash value of a life insurance. So it has to be a true life insurance policy. It can be a very small one, like 50,000 or 150,000. The cash value grows tax-free. You can always borrow from it and then pay it back, or you can just pull it out. The entire corpus is exempt in Texas. And in fact, if for any reason you get sued and they give you interrogatories and request for production, they ask you to produce all of your accounts, by law, you don't even have to divulge the information about your life insurance cash value. And so it's fully exempt. It's the equivalent of an offshore trust. You can always withdraw without penalties. There's no minimum or maximum. You don't pay taxes when you pull it out. You only pay taxes once, and that's whenever you put it in, you contribute. The actual engine can be virtually any institutional investment, mutual funds, money market. Again, the machine is the stock market, so you can be aggressive. And so this is wonderful. You can do this at an individual level. They also said that municipal bonds have the peculiar advantage of accruing tax-free. So it's kind of like this, but there are limits to when you can cash in your municipal bonds. You got to wait for them to mature, and so the liquidity is not nearly as good. And of course, you can do your IRA, but IRAs are limited, and when we're making large amounts of money, there may be limitations on how much you can contribute to an IRA. Even, I don't know, but they're saying that you'd have to convert it over to a Roth. And I'm not sure we understand that, but we all know that it's a relatively small amount. So even if you are doing this, this certainly won't be the full extent. So I've tried to go over the totality of the investment, but just to summarize, we optimize the goose that lays the golden egg. We expel capital. We decide, hopefully, to the red circle as much as possible and enjoy the growth, liquidity, and the fact that you can keep it and share it even if you are no longer a partner at a law firm. And that enables us to continue to share wealth together, even if life takes us to Utah or other places. Sure love y'all. Worth thinking about. Over and out.